This is something shocking that happened in Yellowstone Supervolcano. Earthquakes triggered at sensitive supervolcano. This is what's happening. Yellowstone suffered nearly 100 earthquakes in over a 24-hour period. It has sparked concerns of an eruption among observers after several of the earthquakes took place very close to the surface. The volatile Yellowstone supervolcano. It was rattled by a swarm of 91 earthquakes over just 24 hours, and this happened this week. To put it in context, the Yellowstone volcano was shaken by a total of 82 earthquakes over the entire month of August, and now we've had 91 earthquakes in one day. The United States Geological Survey confirmed a swarm of earthquakes, but claimed most of them had been induced on purpose by scientists themselves. This is an alarming twist. Michael Poland, who is the scientist in charge at Yellowstone Volcano Observatory, declared that a seismic vibrator, quote unquote, had been used to trigger the earthquakes. Now, why would they do this? These so-called vibroses, or seismic vibrator, is a trunk-mounted device that's capable of injecting low-frequency vibrations deep into the earth. He said the test carried out by the University of Utah and University of New Mexico was intended to create images of Yellowstone's magma chamber, the so-called supervolcano, the amount of the earthquakes in the volatile region, which is understood to be overdue for an eruption, sparked concern among the observers, obviously. One Yellowstone enthusiast who runs YouTube channel, Mr. MBB333, said that the earthquakes had rattled the area for hours, quote unquote. He said some of these earthquakes were just 0.7 miles deep, so it's very close to the surface. We know that the magma chamber, the roof of the magma chamber over the lake, for example, is only 3 miles down from where you're standing. He said there's loads of activity across the Yellowstone. He says, I have not seen the Yellowstone supervolcano this busy in quite some time. He noted that 5 earthquakes had taken place in less than 30 minutes at one point, with a 2.9 magnitude quake among them, which is not small for Yellowstone. One concerned user took to Twitter to respond to USGS experiment, claiming 2020 is just not the year to be messing about with things like Yellowstone's magma chamber. And he's right, I believe. Another one added, it's tempting, the Yellowstone caldera is something we really should be doing in 2020. Others simply said, don't mess with Mother Nature. Yellowstone, as we know, is one of the most seismically active regions in the United States. Dr. Poland said this cluster of quakes is on the large side in terms of number and magnitude, but nowhere near the largest. God forbid it should be. They had a 7.3 or 7.5 magnitude earthquake, August 17, 1959. That was at Hebgen Lake. That caused landslides and creation of a new lake. Now, this park usually experiences an average of 1,500 to 2,000 earthquakes every year, according to USGS. So that's what took place this week. In 24 hours, 91 earthquakes because of the experiment that they did. This is by Ollie Smith on Express UK. Please leave your comments. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.